Good evening and welcome to Kini News. Twitter Jaya was busy today when the hashtag Kerajaan Gagal exploded and reached trending status on the platform. Netizens have been venting their various frustrations at the government on some of the new developments in Putrajaya, some of which we'll be taking a look at later in today's news. But first, let's see what all the buzz is about.
Malaysians hit out at the Perikatan Nasional Government on Twitter today over several issues ranging from the economy to the COVID-19 situation in the country. The hashtag Kerajaan Gagal was trending on the social media platform with 67,300 tweets as of 4 p.m. today. One of the complaints among users was on the claim by Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin that Putrajaya is less well off after it allocated over 600 billion ringgit for Budget 2021 and several stimulus packages to help Malaysians affected by COVID-19. The appointment of a new Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture was also brought up in line with this. Other users commented on the increasing COVID-19 cases, with one Twitter user highlighting how there were no cases on the 8th of July and everything changed when the PN government held the Sabah state elections. He added that now there are 4-digit cases every day without any action from the government to reduce them. Some users also lamented on how the rising number of COVID-19 infections could most likely mean that they could not go home for Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Former Education Minister Mazli Malik joined in with calls for the government to prioritize teachers for vaccination.
Aha, so you heard the mention of a new Deputy Minister. Yes, the Perikatan Nasional Cabinet family grows by one, as we now have a new Deputy Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture. And former Minister Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman also has something to say about this.
Muar MP Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman has questioned the government's decision to appoint a new Deputy Minister. In a post on Facebook, he asked how appointing a new Deputy Tourism Minister could help fill the people's stomachs, especially at a time when people are not allowed to travel. He said this in response to the reports on the appointment of Parti Solidariti Tanah Airku Star Secretary General Guan Di Koh Hoi as the new Tourism, Culture and Arts Deputy Minister. Syed Saddiq said the government had money for political matters, but when it came to the people, it was difficult and there were many obstacles. He pointed out how students had still not received the free laptops promised by the government and how the public had to withdraw money from their employees' provident fund savings instead of getting any financial aid. He added that the government seemed to be prioritizing their political survival over the survival of the Rakyat. He said ministers and deputy ministers can be grateful for their salaries and positions, however the people have lost their jobs, had to close their businesses and auction off their cars and houses.
There aren't many candidates who could fill the position of best central banker, but according to former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, Zeti Akhtar Aziz comes pretty close. Find out what the Pejuang chairperson thinks of Zeti in our exclusive interview with him, but before we show you that, take a look in the description. Look for that link to become a contributor.
Saya tak tahu langsung. Sebenarnya saya masa Najib lagi, saya bercakap dengan Zeti. Zeti yang bagi tahu kepada saya bahawa Najib ada duit banyak dalam bank, tapi dia kata dia nak ambil tindakan, dia cuba. Lepas tu entah apa dia yang Najib buat, tapi dia tak beranilah. Dan the group of 4 tu pun di chief of police cerita kepada Najib tentang group of 4 ni. Dan si AG was sacked. Najib destroyed that group of 4. I didn't know. But Zeti performed very well as a banker. As a central banker, he's worldwide. He's well known. I've appointed a very well-known person. Saya tak tahu berkenaan dengan anak dia apa semua tu. Yang itu soal dia lah. Tapi as a banker, he's the best central banker that we have for a long time.
If you're stuck and unable to go home for Raya because you're short on funds, a certain company was trying to hint at you to use their services through a catchy Raya commercial video. However, netizens have voiced out that the ad didn't sit quite right with them to the point that now the police are involved.
Police will be calling in the producer and actors who were involved in a local online casino advertisement for questioning. The video in question is a Hari Raya-themed advertisement by a local casino, which had received backlash from several citizens who had accused it of being insensitive to Muslims as it promotes gambling, which is forbidden in Islam. The ad features a man who does not have enough money to balik kampung, leading him to use the platform. In a statement, Deputy Inspector General of Police Akril Sani Abdullah Sani said police will be investigating the video's producer and actors under Section 504 of the Penal Code for intentional insult aimed at provoking a breach of the peace. The section carries a jail term of up to 2 years or a fine or both for those convicted. He said the Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) would also be asked to help with the investigation. Police will also be carrying out investigations under Section 4 subsection 1G of the Common Gambling Houses Act for soliciting people to gamble at a common gambling house. Akril advised the people not to spread the video to avoid causing public unease. Earlier, politicians from both sides of the divide had also condemned the video.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
COVID-19 cases continued to rise today, with a state whose name begins with S clocking in with almost 1,000 cases. Did you think it was Selangor? Well, think again.
Malaysia recorded 2,551 new cases of COVID-19 today, with Sarawak reporting the highest new number of cases at 960. This was followed by Selangor with 590 cases, Kuala Lumpur with 245 and Kelantan with 164. Active cases are now at 18,600. 2 deaths were also recorded today, taking the death toll from COVID-19 in the country to 1,365. Of the 960 new cases reported in Sarawak, 295 cases were attributed to a police training center, which has been subjected to an enhanced movement control order. Previously, Sarawak Deputy Chief Minister Amar Douglas Uga Embas had announced that the whole of Sarawak will remain under the Conditional Movement Control Order, or CMCO, until the 26th of April. He added that enhanced MCO will be imposed at high-risk areas in Sarawak, as it would be easier to manage and implement, especially in areas under lockdown or targeted areas.
And that's all the Kini news we have this evening. For more stories, go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget, you can also follow us on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook to get the latest news updates as well. Now, before we leave you, if you want to support the independent media, do consider a subscription to MalaysiaKini.com. And if you like the content that we produce, check the link in the description below to make a little donation to help support us in bringing you more quality content. If you're heading out, don't forget your mask, and when you can, do try to stay home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia. Enjoy your weekend.